and welcome back. If this is your first time, I hope you'll stay. Espero que te quedes. Today's video is actually an English video. So for my ESL people, this is for you. And I have as a guest here, my daughter.
Hello, everybody.
So this is a novel one because she's going to be asking me a few questions, and I'm actually quite nervous because I don't know what the questions are, and I like to be in control of these situations, you see. And I'm not, so I'm feeling a little bit nervous. So daughter, please be gentle and be aware this is a educational channel.
I am aware, Mother, I am aware.
And so I'll be interested to see because, you know, we are over 2 decades apart in age. So this should be interesting.
Yeah, they're simple questions though, so don't be worried.
Okay, I'm not worried. I would have preferred if you'd come out on screen, but it's okay. It's all right.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I think my voice is enough.
Your voice is certainly enough, my darling. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to answer your questions the best I can.
Okay, well, first question.
Okay.
When you had me, when you were pregnant, did you want a girl or a boy?
So did I want a girl or a boy?
Yes. What were you expecting? Because I know that you didn't want to know what the child was until it was born. Well, until I was born.
Okay, right. I love baby girls. Really and truly, I didn't really mind. So I convinced myself that whatever came, as long as it was healthy, he or she was healthy, I would have been happy. But secretly, I did want a girl because I love baby girls, and it was my first child. So I thought, you know, I did honestly want a girl. So yeah, you were una niña. You were.
I know. I was a gift.
You were a gift. You were a gift.
Okay, second question. This one's a bit more tricky.
Okay.
How many relationships have you been in before you settled down?
Oh dear Jesus, what did I get myself into? Right. So to be honest, talking about these sort of things, I've always been sort of quite a serious person anyway. So I didn't really have many relationships, but I went out with 2 people before I got married. So yeah, before I got married, I had 2 boyfriends, if you like, or I went out with 2 people.
Oh,
there you
cool,
go.
Cool. Well, nice.
I believe this advice for you. I do think that before you get married, it's good to date. So
you get experience from
absolutely
other people.
Yeah, and you get to know yourself as well as you grow up. So it's not sort of I meet someone today, I fall in love today, and I get married tomorrow. It's a process. I feel you need to get to know people and see whether or not it's the best choice for you, because forever is a long time.
Absolutely. Okay, third question. This one really interests me because, as you know, I'm going to be 18 very soon. So, how old were you when you moved out of home?
Oh, move out. Well,
because I know that you kept on leaving and coming back and stuff. So
I still keep doing that.
No, I know, but like, were you like 100% sure that you just weren't gonna go back home and that you were going on your own journey and you weren't going to live at home anymore?
Well, I haven't decided that. Mom's home is still my forever home. Come on. But that's always my home.
Okay.
Mom,
geez.
you've got me forever. My home is my home in Wiltshire. Even though I've got a house somewhere else, my home is my mother's house always. But to answer your question, I moved out when I was 16 to go and study. So it wasn't really moving out. I sort of just left home for the first time and to pursue my studies. And then after those 2 years, I had to go to university. So I moved even further away to London. And then I started traveling And that's a hard question because there's so many phases,
no,
you know?
Because you kept on going and coming back and doing this and doing that and going everywhere. Yeah, it was
I still feel as though my home is with my mom in Wiltshire. So yeah, I never really moved out. Well, I have no plans of moving out. I mean, you're moving out of my house, but I'm not moving out of Mom's house.
Geez, thanks. Okay, thanks to know what's important here. Well, talking about mom and family.
Okay.
What's one of your earliest memories?
Okay. This is a memory from when I must have been 4 or so. So as you know, I lived in Jamaica for a while. But my mom, as you know, she was born in England, and so half her family was here, half there. And so I remember when my parents split up when I was about 4 or 5. And I remember waking up, not finding my mom there. And I left the house in search of her. And I had a terrible accident. I have the scar. I'll have to explain that to you another time. That was one of my earliest memory. And the other one, which is still with me, was the first day of daycare when mom left me.
Oh my goodness.
And I remember feeling the feeling of just that feeling of anxiety that I was never going to see her again. And I remember I watched her leave through the window, and I just thought, what if I never see her again? And that feeling, I remember it so vividly. You know, I'm never going to see her again. That's quite horrible. Your first day that they leave you at daycare. So yeah.
Well, now that you mentioned the whole running out looking for your mother, next question. What's the most trouble you've ever gotten into?
I was a good child.
Okay.
I was a good child. Don't ask my siblings because I'm sure they will tell you something quite different. But
no need to get so defensive.
I'm not getting defensive at all. Not at all, guys. So my trouble. This is hard. I was a good girl.
Okay, geez.
let me think. I don't want to trouble. Okay. I remember we were grounded, my sister and I, because mom was working the late shift, and she told us not to go very far. We weren't really allowed to wander off or anything like that. So she got home and she found that the lights were on, but my siblings and I were nowhere to be found.
Oh no.
And so she must have called everyone in her contact book at that time. She couldn't find her. She was in such a state. It was summer, by the way.
Oh.
So we were over the field. There's a massive field behind our house where there's a school. And so we were just over there just having fun. We just forgot about the time. And so my mom, in the state that she was so angry that she came out with her white belt.
Oh, I've seen that belt before.
Everyone on our street just remembered that day. I mean, even now, if you ask,
they'll be like, oh kids, yes, I remember Myrtle walking out with her white belt.
I remember she was so angry. She just started hitting everyone. Me, my sister, my brother, the neighbor's kids, everyone got some, you know. And I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, I am never leaving this house ever again. The embarrassment. Oh my gosh. It was horrible. That is something I will never forget. But that was a collective punishment. That wasn't just me. All right. Yeah, it was Claudia's fault.
Auntie Claudia, if you're watching this video.
She's the oldest, you know. She should have known better. She should have said, come on, time to go home. But, you know, with summer, sometimes we get lost with time. So,
absolutely.
Okay.
Well, before you were talking about how you usually travel from place to place.
Yeah.
So, next question. Mm-hmm. What's the best trip you've ever taken?
That is quite a difficult one to answer because I try to enjoy myself wherever I go. But one of the best trips. Perhaps our trip to Tobago in the Caribbean.
Oh.
Because it was a family trip, and so I feel as though we really all got a chance to be together, not just the nuclear family, but the extended family as well. So that was really memorable, and I hope we get to repeat that in the near future.
That was definitely a lovely experience.
It was.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Is there a moment or event that radically changed the way you saw the world? For example, when you moved out, maybe you had a view on the world when you lived at home with your mother. Maybe when you saw the real world, you just saw it differently because of something that happened.
I would say radical, but I think just traveling in general really opened up my eyes to what it means to really live. Just meeting different people from all different walks of life, and just teaching me that it teaches me, and it has taught me, and it continues to teach me that, you know, we're all coming from the same place, and it teaches you to be understanding of other people and where they're coming from, and also not to be judgmental. I think it broadens your mind. So rather than change me radically, I think it's helped me to grow.
Oh, yeah, good answer.
Oh, thank you, mother.
Okay, so this is a question I've actually been interested in.
Okay.
So who did you used to look up to when you were growing up?
Oh, there's not going to be anyone famous or anything like that.
No, I wasn't expecting anyone famous.
I'd have to say my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, so my mother's mother. Just because I've always seen a amazing source of strength, and she embodies what it means to be a woman. She's not here anymore, unfortunately. She's such a hard worker, so determined, and just she had such a massive heart, such a giver. And I feel as though she has always been and will always be that role model for me, even though she's no longer here with us. Yeah.
I would have loved to meet her.
Yeah. Sorry, you didn't. You know, she died when you were so little. And it was, I'll have to explain this story to you another time because it's quite an interesting story. I feel as though when she was really sick, Mum called me because Mum went out to see her in Jamaica, and she called and she said, you know, I've got some money here. You need to go and see your cousin. He's going to give you some money. You're going to go get a flight and you're going to come over. And I was like, oh, I've got Amelia here. And she's, no, you're going to take her. I don't know if she's going to hold on to get to meet her. But I'll tell you all about that another time because that's a really long story.
Right. Well, this is an interesting question.
Okay.
What advice would you give your younger teenage self if you could?
Okay. My younger teenage self. That it will come. It will all come. You just have to believe in yourself a little bit more. Be more confident. You are much stronger than you think. And just be more confident. Yeah, I was very, very shy as a teenager, but I gradually grew into myself. So yeah, confident. Be more confident, and it will come.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And last question.
Last question.
Okay. So I've been thinking about this because you always give me odd answers to this question.
Okay.
What would you like your funeral to be like?
My funeral? I'm not planning on dying.
Okay. So
I'm going to heaven in one piece, alive.
Okay. No, it's because, there are different ways.
Okay, my funeral.
Because when you think about it, I know I was talking to some people, and for example, here in Spain, I've noticed that customs are different. For example, a funeral in Jamaica.
Okay.
They're very different. How would you like yours to be?
Definitely Jamaican.
I thought you'd say that.
A Jamaican funeral. Like the one my grandparents had. No, but I would like there to be that massive celebration of my life instead of mourning and crying, because, you know, I would like to think that when my time comes, when it arrives, I would have thought to myself, well, I would have lived my best life. So I would like for people to celebrate my life and what it meant to them, and I hope it would be something positive. So I would like a massive cook-up of all my favorites, all the stuff I used to cook.
Oh yes,
because you admit it, I am a good cook. I
think you're one of the best. Don't worry.
No, so maybe just a celebration of my life somewhere nice and exotic. Caribbean somewhere. I want two, just like my birthdays. I want 2 funerals. Okay, I'll have one in England with all my people who can't make it out to the Caribbean.
All right.
And then I'll have a proper party, a proper farewell party, with everybody else in Jamaica. And after that.
Okay, I see you've really thought about this. Okay, I thought this was just gonna be like, yeah, I want to be buried. That's it. You're like, no, you haven't planned out. No. But I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, so you don't have to think about my funeral. Okay. Don't worry. When you die, I'll be close behind.
Listen, I don't know why you're so obsessed about when I die. Listen, I am not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
I hope.
We still have many years to come. Well,
there we go.
That's the end of it. Thank you for answering all of these questions.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the interview, my dear. And until the next time. Okay, so guys, that was it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that you've understood most of it. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate. Ask down below and I will get back to you. And until next time. Another thing, if you have not already subscribed, please feel free to do that down below. And until next time, adios.
Bye.
Bye.